What's up, everybody? Welcome to our brand new podcast, Cut the Nonsense. I'm joined by my co-host, Rob Bastow. He is.
Well, I'm not going to be biased here, but I do
Yes,
think
you
the
are.
Niners will.
Don't lie.
No, no, no.
Do not
I
lie.
look. I'm being no. I am trying to keep no bias. I do see the Niners winning this game. They need to get back on track. They've dropped three. Now, one game against the Browns could have obviously been won if our kicker had his right, the foot on the right side of his, leg, but completely whiffed on the kick.
Dude, he was kicking like he was kicking with his hands.
I might as well have. Um, in Duval County, they're playing some good football, but the Niners, the Cowboys, no, are a real deal team when they are running on all cylinders. We have Chase Young, right, who's coming
Chase
in
Young now.
to complement, Nick Bosa, who needs to wake
pickup.
up.
What a pickup!
But he needs to wake up, Nick Bosa, because you're coming off a Defensive Player of the Year. You're getting your 5-year deal that you've wanted the money for, and you have a total of 3 sacks on the season.
I think that is a sleeper of a pickup. They gave up a third-round pick for him, which I understand could be a future, Hall of Famer or whatever.
Could be.
But a third-round pick for one of the most highest scouted defensive ends ever in Chase Young. Who was in a bad situation in Washington. Obviously, he's had some injuries, so he hasn't quite lived up to the hype, but well worth a third rounder, I believe. And I think he's going to make an instant pickup or an instant impact this Sunday.
As long as Brock Purdy stops throwing to the opposing team's jersey, I have them.
Maybe
the
he's
Niners,
colorblind. Maybe he's colorblind.
Could be.
I mean,
it's looking that way.
This week. The Jaguar. I'm assuming the Jags are being white, so you never know. He might, but they have different colorways. It's not as similar as it is with the Browns.
I like Trevor Lawrence, but he's known for throwing a good amount of picks. That defense, the Niner defense, will not be as bad as it has been. They'll have Steve Wilkes on the sidelines now instead of looking up at the tippity top. It's time to have him down here watching the plays that he's making so that Shanahan can rip him a new one. I see you have an all-pro Fred Warner, probably the best middle linebacker in the entire National Football
League. And then debatably another top 5 linebacker. I forget his name.
Dre Greenlaw. He's unbelievable as well.
Debatably a top 5.
Right now, he's leading the team, Fred Warner, with 47 tackles. I mean, the guy is literally. There was a game that I think he had a pick, a sack, and literally a tackle.
It was against the Cowboys.
Was it against the? Okay, so it was against the Cowboys, but
a pick,
but that's not easy to do.
A fumble. Yeah.
But that's not easy to do. The Cowboys are a tremendous team right now. They really are, and to be able to do that, it just shows. That's why they call him All-Pro Fred. So.
Yeah.
I see the Niners getting back on track with a final score of 31-17.
Okay. I have Niners winning as well, 34-17. I think they show that the Jags can bleed. I don't think the Jaguars have had the toughest schedule.
I agree.
Up to this point. So
totally.
They will be at home. I could give them a little bit more, maybe 24, but I think it's going to be 34-17. I think the 49ers get back on track, get in there, get it done.
Me too.
That brings up our debate. Can the 49ers get back on track? They started 5-0, but have since, as you stated, gone 0-3 against some good teams, but teams they should have beat. So they lost to the Vikings, they lost to the Browns, and they lost to who?
It was Vikings, Browns, and Bengals.
And Bengals, yes. Two tough opponents outside of the Vikings. Obviously, they still had Kirk Cousins at the point, but they didn't have Justin Jefferson. That defense should have locked them up.
Wiped it, and that's the problem. Tre'Davious Ward is trash. He's actually garbage. I would literally take him out with the sanitation on the side of the road tomorrow. I'm done. I'm done, guys. I am one of the biggest 49er fans you could ask Zion you will ever meet.
God.
Will ridicule my team probably harder than other people will. Their defense needs to wake up. The formation style is terrible. This conservative defense is horrible. I want you guys to understand something, that when the 49ers are trailing in the fourth quarter by 5 points or more, they do not win. They are 0-26 under Kyle Shanahan. That is not to blame the defensive coordinators that we've had, Robert Salah, D'Amico Ryan. Steve Wilkes right now, though, he's falling under the same trap with Shanahan. I think we need to get something going here. I want to see more from the defense. They have been unbelievable. Maybe a little bit of a revitalization after the bye week will do good, especially getting a top dog in the league. Again, I'm going to be the first person to ridicule Brock Purdy. I love Brock. I don't think he's anything incredible, but I think he fits this team perfectly. I don't need him to be a Hall of Famer, and I believe he knows that. He just needs to do his job if they want to win a Super Bowl.
Agreed.
I have no problem with him. He doesn't have the greatest arm. He doesn't have the greatest awareness. We get it all. We get all that. I think that being a last choice in a draft, he has shown us in the weeks that he's here that he deserves to be here. He deserves to at least, see where this season goes. I'm not going to crucify somebody just based off of 2 mediocre games, maybe 3, but that defense over in Cleveland is unbelievable. I'm just, to me, I see them getting back on track, and it's not just being a Niner fan. I've seen a lot of shitty seasons, but I've also seen a lot of great ones that have fallen just short. I see them getting back on track, and I see their defense starting to pick it up.
I agree. I agree. I think they get back on track. I think they win this game, which will be a very important game for them to win. They need it. If they lose this game, I think you could see it go downhill very quickly.
Absolutely. And if they lose it, it's on them.
They're gonna make the playoffs. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, the NFC is terrible, so they would at least make some spot.
Yeah, they'll make some seed, but if they want to win the West, they've got to win this game.
I think that they'll win the West, and the reason I think they'll win the West is because I think that they could beat the Seahawks. I have absolutely no doubt that they can't beat the Seahawks. I think even you could say that.
Yeah, I agree. But even if they beat the Seahawks and the Seahawks have a better record, it don't matter.
No, I agree. Well, no. If they beat them twice, I think it would matter.
I don't think it does.
Well, if they have a better record, absolutely. But if it's like they both have the same record, they beat the Niners beat them twice, let's say, it would be going to the Niners.
I could see the Seahawks. I mean, they're fine. They have the same record right now, and
they have the same
their schedule's a little.
We haven't played them yet, though, this season, though. Too. We have to play them twice.
Like they play Washington, then they play the Rams, which
Yeah, but those are 2 dog water teams.
So you got to think they're going to be 7-3. So if you guys drop this game this week, they have the West, and then then they face the 49ers, then they play at Dallas, then at 49ers.
And so they don't have that 3-game stretch is absolutely brutal.
That 3-game stretch is going to be brutal. No, 4-game, because then they play Philly.
Yeah, I mean that's where it starts to go downhill for Seattle.
But to end the season, Titans, Steelers, and Cardinals.
Titans definitely could give them a run for their money. We watched, we've seen Seattle struggle at times, but they also play very well. I could see Tennessee giving them a run for their money. I still see Seattle winning that game, but it's up in the air for me with Tennessee. So I think they got 5 games straight.
So you have 5 very winnable games, which puts them at 10-7. Hopefully the 49ers finish better than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they will. But
if you guys drop 1 game to the Seahawks, I think they take the West.
It's understandable. And you know what? The Niners would have nobody to blame but themselves.
Yep.
So I can't sit here angry, right? I'm a diehard fan, but I can't play for them. They need to wake up. So.
I agree. I do think they wake up this week, but I think it is a must-win for your playoff seeding. I think it is.
I do too. If we want to get second seeding, at least we're not going to get any higher because of how the Eagles are playing. Yeah, although I'm not sold. I'm still not sold on the Eagles, but
I'm sold on how good they can be.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not sold on how good they are right now.
I could agree. They're definitely not 8-1 caliber, but they have the record and they're winning games.
They're pulling winning games, but Jalen Hurts, he's a hit away. He's a hit away from being out.
He is. No, he is. He's 1 tap. So, I agree with that. I agree. If we want to lock up the second or third, we got to start winning.
All right, we'll move on to the next game.